first, Camille.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining me over here on YouTube. I am live on YouTube and TikTok right now, so you guys don't have to wait for me to upload anything. All right, Kimmy, you are first, okay? The reads that I'm doing this evening, because it is a full moon, this is, first of all, let me just tell you, this is straightforward. What is it that needs to change, okay? It's not going to be super sugar-coated. It's not going to be all calm and lovey-dovey, okay? I mean, it might be pretty funny because I think I'm a funny motherfucker, but I'm just saying, okay? Because sometimes we all need to hear the things, okay? All right, Miss Kimmy. You start off with the Queen of Shadows, which is wrath, instability, and suspicion. Then you have teachability, and then you have grace and generosity. We're going to start here. Stop giving energy to people that don't deserve it. There are too many people that have come into your path that know you are an amazingly kind person and you're very generous, and they have pegged you either as a pushover or as someone that they can kind of give you a little bit of a sob story and you're going to give them whatever it is they want. Stop being so generous and stop giving so much energy to people who do not deserve your time, your energy, or your vibe. The next one is this. Learn something new. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to learn something new. You are never, ever too old to learn something new, to change, to shift, to be something different. By learning something new, by stepping out on that ledge and saying, you know what, I am going to do XYZ. You are a role model for someone else. So in you learning, you're also teaching. Don't be afraid, and don't let anyone else, especially somebody in this pile, tell you that you can't learn things, that you don't need to learn anything, that you're too old, or you should have done this, or you should have done that. Fuck that person, okay? Just saying what I'm saying. Learn all of the things, Kimmy, okay? Learn all the things. This one right here, though, is the one we really are going to talk about. Okay? This is wrath and instability and suspicion. I don't feel like wrath pertains to you, but we're going to talk about that instability aspect. I have a feeling what happens is, I like to say that my ADHD has ADHD. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's kind of what happens. That you get too involved in one project and then your brain just switches gears super fast, and now you're involved in this project, and then your brain switches gears and now you're in here, and then here and here and here and here and here. And you have lived life like that in this unstable movement for so long that you can't knuckle down and get one thing done. Now, trust me, this is the pot calling the kettle black. Trust me, because if y'all saw my life, I'm just saying what I'm saying. I get a lot of shit done, but not. Let's just say it that way, but not. I have to force myself to sit still and finish stuff. So this is going to be something that you're going to have to retrain yourself with as well, is sitting still and saying, okay, this has to get finished. I cannot get up until I finish these last 5 things. This right here, until I finish this article or whatever it is. Okay? So you have to make sure that this instability right here, you give it a good platform to shore up those those foundation where you can be more stable and get things done, knuckle down. Living in a very unstable way like that for so long, trust me, I know, makes it to where you have to start retraining your brain. Like, all right, I know that you now want to shift and stop because you've done half of this. It's a complete retraining of your brain. Okay, Miss Kimmy? That's a lot. Like, that's a lot. Retraining your brain to help you set boundaries with other people is what is going to help you learn new things, move forward in some completely different aspect. It can be done, but it is going to take you a little bit of work, okay? It is going to take you a little bit of work. I will say this too, especially about the grace and generosity. That happens to a lot of people that are severely, and I said severely on purpose, empathic. People that are severely empathic, we feel the pain deeper in other people than we really do feel it in ourselves. So we're drawn to people naturally that have a lot of bullshit. And when they have a lot of bullshit, we want to fix the bullshit because we don't like to see anybody suffer or have issues. People take advantage of that really, really quickly. Okay? I'm just saying. You're going to have to set that boundary really hardcore. All right, Miss Kimmy? I hope that understands words. My words are not working. Why am I? I mean, there's some interesting clouds going on. All right. Does that make sense, Kimmy? Ooh, the comments are going so fast. Oh, good. Okay. Thank you for saying it's a good cry. Y'all can't ever be like, you made me cry. Because then I'm going to feel bad and be like, oh, God, Yeah. Good. I'm so glad. Kimmy. Well, Kim Harrell, you are next. And I'm going to take off my shoes so I can sit with my feet up underneath me, like a normal person. I think that is the norm now, right? There's Kim. Oh, so much better. All right. Ready? Oh, I'm so glad, Kimmy. Thank you, Alexa. I appreciate that. Hey, all you guys over there on YouTube. I appreciate it.
I just figured out you were on YouTube. I was like, she's got two phones? What?
Ready, Kim?
I'm going over there.
All right. I find it interesting that 2 of these cards have DD. That's interesting. Okay. So you start off with the matriarch, which is rejection, opportunities, and consequences. And then you have the dust devil, which is moving out of stagnation. And then you have the deep dive, which is moving into a task. I saw the comment about my hair. So I used to shave a V in it, like a shield maiden cut, for a while, like almost a year. And then I decided to let it grow out. I just shaved this today. I'm still going to let the bottom grow out, but I just reshaved this today because why not? Because why not? All right. Miss Kim, we're going to start down here. This is the deep dive, okay? So here's what needs to change here. You have a tendency to take one little tiny thing, a little minuscule thing, and completely absorb yourself in it. Instead of deep diving into a big task and taking care of little bitty parts of these bubbles on the way down, instead, You deep dive with one little tiny thing and that's it. And you get engulfed in it. Let's see the best way I can say. It would be like if someone gave you a whole Pepsi factory and you got obsessed with the very first bottle that came out and never looked at anything else after that. Do you see it? Does that make sense? So when we deep dive down one little tiny avenue and we don't take the time for anything else, all of those other things go way far to the wayside and they never get looked at. The good thing about it is you don't panic over the humongous things, but you panic over the tiny things. It means you're very calm when the big things happen. So here's a full-on yawn. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've had like these half yawns, and I'm like, look, just yawn. When you're deep diving into the one little thing and you catch yourself doing it, pull yourself back. Does that make sense? Have a safe word for yourself or something. There's a lot of times I will be walking around. I do like that just to kind of, every teacher in school I ever had did that. It was like, you know, like that shit. So it irritates me. So I do it to force myself out of whatever it is I am doing or thinking. I also do stupid little fucking dances too. Like that doesn't help either, but makes me feel better. So let's talk about this one. This is the dust devil and moving out of stagnation. Woo, really? Okay. The dust devil and moving out of stagnation. We don't always have to be moving. We don't always have to be moving. Okay? Sometimes we get so caught up in the movement that we forget to look around, we forget to take notes, we forget to video, we forget to all of the things. Like we forget everything else because we're so focused on this is where I'm going that we forget to do anything along the way. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that because I have a feeling you know exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you. Don't get so caught up in forcing yourself to move. Why am I yawning so fucking much all of a sudden?
Stop.
What in the Sam hell? Are you not sleeping good, Kim? Like as soon as I got on yours. Because we slept in this morning. Like we slept in. We slept hardcore, slept in. Yeah, hardcore slept in. Aw, I'm sorry. I know what it's like to not sleep good. I haven't slept very good on this trip until last night. I slept like a fucking rock, just like face plant, like it was great. You need a night like that, honey. Let's talk about this, okay? This is the matriarch card. This one is rejection, opportunities, and consequences. This one kind of represents a cycle, okay? The cycle of this is when something either doesn't go your way or you get rejected or whatever, there's some kind of negative aspect to it. You end up using that as an opportunity, which is a great thing. But the problem is you use it it's like you use it in a way that instead of the desired outcome, you have all these little tiny weird outcomes, almost like throwing marbles out. And the marbles land in great places and they look amazing, but then you step on the marbles and you're like shifting everywhere. Does that make sense? I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain it. You take something bad and you turn it into something good, but the problem is that when you turn it into something good, it's either too much, too many things, like you jump into too many things at once, or you lose your footing of where you were going. So what I'm going to say is this. The next time something happens that is a rejection, that is a failure, that is something, oh my God, 90 yawns in, that is something you see as being a rejection, okay? Feel that. It sucks. It sucks, but fully feel it, okay? If you don't, you're always going to react in this way. You're always going to take that negative or that rejection and you're going to throw those marbles all over, okay? And the marbles is what's tripping you up. So take the time and fully feel it. Do the 3-second method. If you guys have never heard me talk about the 3-second method, it sounds really, really simple, but it's actually really hard. You think it's got to do with your job. It very well could. Fully feeling one single feeling for 3 seconds doesn't sound like a long time. But when you are forcing yourself to be as angry as you possibly can for 3 full seconds, to feel grief as deep as you possibly can for 3 full seconds, to feel that hole in your stomach for 3 full seconds, it's hard. It's really hard. But here's what that does. It takes that feeling and it solidifies it in your brain. It solidifies it in your brain and then in your heart and then in your gut, and it allows you to let go of it. It's not going to instantly just fly away and it's all hunky dory, but it's going to allow you to let go of it. Okay? It's really hard. It sounds simple, but it's really hard. Okay? I hope that helps. Especially the deep diving into a task and feeling like you need to move all the time. I have a feeling both of those two things go into this other last one here. And if this has to do with your job, hopefully that really, really helps, because I know how stressful that can be to be super worried about all of these rejections or all of these things going wrong. Yeah, I hope that helps. 3 seconds doesn't sound like that long. It really doesn't. And it's not. But when you have to force yourself to fully feel that feeling for 3 full seconds, I promise you it's harder than you realize. And then you move on from there, and that's a whole other ball of wax. But you've been doing a lot about, oh, got you. Okay, good. I'm so glad that helps. I'm so glad that helps. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you. I'm so glad, Laurel. I see you over there on YouTube and doing a lot of deep breaths. If you guys worry, stress, anxiety, yes. And feeling one main feeling such as anger, sadness, happiness, those are the 3 big ones. We all know exactly what those are. But fully feeling those things also allows us to peel back that layer and deal with the things underneath it. Fully feeling rejection, that sucks, man. That sucks. Okay? I'm glad you guys have been doing a lot of deep breaths. It's an amazing technique that is in ancient Chinese medicine to lower your heart rate, to lower your blood pressure. Who's next on my list over there?
Amy.
Miss Amy Pooh. You ready, Miss Amy? Thank you, Magdalena. I'm so glad I could help Anna. My hands are always glowing. No, I mean, I have the same light that I always do. I mean, if you see in the pink when I'm moving like that, that's the underside of my nails, but yeah. Ready, Miss Amy? I mean, Sass can tell you I've got the same light I always have.
You haul it
don't.
in, haul it out. Haul
Yep.
it in, haul it out.
I don't change. It's the same light. I have one at home and I have one that travels with me. The exact same light. I love that, Sheila. Sheila said, since I've been watching you, I can now inhale very deep where before I couldn't. It does retrain your chest, your lungs, your diaphragm to fully take things in and out. It can be hard and it sucks. But when you realize that you can suddenly take a deep breath where you hadn't been able to in so long, yeah. Thank you, that damn woman. Tucson is beautiful. It is just so beautiful here. I'm amazed. All right, Miss Amy. You start off with the Morrigan, which is anticipation, introspection, opposition. Then you have the Beloved, which is radical acceptance. And then you have spiritual narcolepsy. So let's talk about this. Spiritual narcolepsy is a thing, but it comes in a couple of different forms. When we look at regular brains versus neurospicy brains, they're all still a brain. They're all still a brain, okay? One processes information how normal things are supposed to be, whatever normal is processed, okay? Neurospicy brains process information, but they do it differently. They may have to jump back and forth or whatever it is they need to do. So when it comes to spiritual narcolepsy, there's two different ways that this happens, okay? One is you are completely and utterly shut off, cut off. There's no in. You don't get to go nowhere. Like, that's it. You're sitting in a black room. Like, that's it. But the other part is this. It is jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing like this, where you can't focus on anything. So in your mind, you think that you're moving forward because you have all of these amazing things that you're doing. You've started reading this, and you've started doing this, and you've got this, and you've got that. So it's just this continually, okay? But the problem is that is a form of spiritual narcolepsy, because instead of stopping and focusing on one specific thing, okay, I'm going to focus on this deck of oracle cards until I learn this deck of oracle cards, and then I'll move on to another deck, and so on. We move like this. And to be honest, that's how a lot of us are, myself included. We all get this way, in that we need to move, change, do like this, because we live in a society where everything is instant now. It's hard to find someone that will put in a lot of hard work. Nobody wants to do the hard work, and nobody wants to pay somebody else to do the hard work. So society and TV and everything else wants us to do things like this, because we can get online and gather whatever information we need in the blink of an eye. That turns into spiritual narcolepsy as well, because we're still stuck. You're still stuck. So instead of being in that black room where there's nothing and you just can't go anywhere and you can't connect, you are stuck jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. There's no finishing. There's no starting. It's just thing. The next one is this, and this is radical acceptance. Because I know you a little bit, and so I kind of know some of the things that you've gone through. I don't feel like you are not accepting yourself, okay? So let me say that. I don't feel like this card talks about you needing to really have some radical acceptance with yourself. Instead, I would say take a step back from the radical acceptance. Sometimes we get so hell-bent on accepting everything about us. Now, please don't take that as I'm saying don't do that, okay? But we get so hell-bent on it that we don't stop to see where we need to or should change. We look at, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and every one of you is going to know someone like this. Well, I spent all my paycheck, and I guess that's just how I am. I just need shopping therapy this week. But yet you still got evicted. You still got your car repoed. You still can't pay your bills or feed your kid. Do you see what I'm saying? But you did go to the mall and spend $700. Do you see it? You know what I mean? We all know someone like that. But they justify it by saying, well, that's just how I deal with things, is to go shopping. But they have a closet full of things with tags still on them. It's that's an extreme example, but we all know someone like that. Every single one of us knows someone like that. So when you take something that is really not a good thing about yourself, and this is for everybody, I'm kind of myself included. When you take something about yourself that you know you do, and you say, well, it's just the way I am. Just like all of those people that they go from toxic relationship to toxic relationship to toxic relationship. Well, I'm just, addicted to the bad boys or the bad girls. That's just my type. No, it's because they will latch on to you immediately and give you that immediate response that you want. So sometimes we make acceptances for, and let me put acceptances in air quotes, for really negative things about ourselves instead of looking at where maybe we should change those things. Thank you, Josh. So just be careful with that. I know that you have come to terms with a lot of your own things that have happened so much. So I don't for 1 second think that you have things about yourself that you need to accept, because I know just since, I don't know how long you've been following me. It's been what, 2022, early 2022 or late 2021? That's a while. I've seen how much growth you've done. So in no way do I think that you need to be like, maybe you should just accept this about yourself. I think that you have accepted so much. I think you've accepted so much, and it's time maybe just to breathe and just take a break and just, be grippy sock crazy for a little bit. I mean, sometimes that's a great place to be. I'm just saying what I'm saying. And that guy, somebody had called him. I don't know if you guys heard that.
I heard that.
Gotta love being in a hotel. The next one, Amy, is this. And we're going to talk about the introspection with this card. And trust me, this is also something that every single person struggles with. So please don't think that that you are all alone on that yacht, okay? That yacht is a party boat. We all live in our own brains so fucking much that we forget that other people are living in their own brains too. We forget to step outside of our brain and breathe. I know that you live in a fantastically beautiful place. I also know that in the wintertime fucking sucks because there's like 90 million feet of fucking snow. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. Even the snow can be beautiful. There's a lot of things you can do even in the snow. One of the things I have enjoyed so much about this trip that I've been on is that I've done a couple of things that I haven't done in a while, since probably last summer. One was, climbing to the top of a summit. It was a small summit, but still a summit. Climbing to the top of a summit and getting out and being active and hiking and stopping at national parks. And I noticed that whenever I can do that and I get grounded, I'm a lot calmer and I can focus better. You've been on the hill skiing and snowboarding? Yeah. Don't be in your head so much that you get stuck there. Okay? A lot of people have that issue. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay? Does that help, Amy? Amy lives way up in the Rockies in a fantastically beautiful place. Just saying. Makes so much sense. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. How much snow do you guys have up there right now? One crystal or stone that I would suggest for everyone to have: obsidian. Obsidian. 36 inches. Amy or Garrett?
What's the temp?
What's the temperature up there, Amy? All right, who's next?
I was trying to stall by asking for the temp. Hold on. Karen M.
Miss Karen, you're next. She said gold. Okay, that's funny. Hey, Lando. That's funny. I didn't want to give out where Amy lived, so just saying. Why obsidian? Because obsidian is an extremely versatile stone. It can be used for offensive and defensive purposes. It also absorbs negativity. When you have a piece of obsidian that has a sharpened edge, it can be used for defensive purposes. So if you have one that is sitting beside your bed and, you know, you have maybe someone who's a dream walker that's trying to fuck with you when you sleep or whatever, it can be used for that purpose. It's an amazing protector. It also helps to ground you. Apache tears are a form of obsidian. They are extremely, extremely grounding. But over the years, obsidian has become one of those stones that I feel like is a staple for everyone. I know a lot of people say rose quartz or amethyst or whatever, but hands down obsidian. Hands down obsidian. Okay? So yeah. And one of my favorite fun facts about obsidian is this. The ancient Aztecs believed that green obsidian, which is formed in a lot of different places throughout Mexico, South America, and some of the Southwest in the United States. They believed that green obsidian, if you were killed by a spear, an arrow, whatever, that it would actually steal your soul. So only the highest of the high people carried green obsidian knives and things like that. So all of their priests and so on. But they started this, I mean, I'm just going to say they started this rumor. Let me just say it that way. And they started giving all of their warriors spears with green tips, green obsidian tips. And a lot of the other tribes that they would come up against, if they saw the glint of the green, they would turn and run. It's one thing to die gloriously in battle. It is a whole other ball of no to have someone steal your soul. Think about that. Think about that. That's a pretty powerful fucking stone. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Obsidian is awesome. So, all right.
Did I tell you? I swear I did.
You did, and I forgot.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
And Sass was like, no.
Karen M.
Karen. Thank you.
You, okay. I was just checking myself.
You can carry it with you. I have a bracelet of it on. You can wear a pendant. You can put it beside your bed, whatever you'd like to do. I will say this. If you guys get a piece of raw obsidian or a piece of sharp obsidian, especially an arrowhead or something, that shit is so sharp it will slice through. If you guys have never watched any of the demonstrations on how sharp an obsidian knife or arrowhead is, that is your homework. Go to YouTube, find you one. It is scarily sharp. Scarily sharp. So be really careful, okay? All right, Karen, let's get on it. I think maybe we just need to do a Q&A. I need to do a subscriber only video, a subscriber only live in the morning anyway. So how about if I do a subscriber only live in the morning for a little bit, and we'll just do a Q&A while I get ready. How about that? Sound good? Sound good? Sound good? All right, Karen, you start off with the martyr, which is honesty, shame, and restitution. And then you have the feast of plenty, which is choices and their consequences. Then you have the lay of the land, which is ancestral wisdom. Oh, I see all of y'all are all about that. So we will make that happen. When I get off of here, I will schedule it for in the morning. So that way y'all know what time it is. So I'm currently in Mountain Time. It's currently 8:45 where I'm at. So it will probably be around 9:30 or 10 my time in the morning. just so you guys know. Okay. So like 10:30 or 11 Central, 11:30 or noon Eastern. And then for those of you guys on Pacific time, you're probably like, no ma'am, that's too early. No ma'am.
What time is that for us?
Like 9:30 or 10. So I figured we get up and go eat.
Sitting here like
Sass over there pouting. We'll go eat breakfast.
9:30 sounds good.
Yeah, we'll go eat breakfast and then y'all can.
This is the first time we don't have to get up and pack and run and. I was about to fight you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You welcome.
I just wanted clarification so I didn't sit over here mad.
All right. Ready, Karen? So let's talk about this. This is the ancestral wisdom card. Honey, this is basically you're not paying attention. Here's the thing. We all have times where we get disconnected from the ancestors. There's another yawn. From our ancestors, from our past. We all do it. And as I'm doing these reads, I don't want you guys to think anything about like, oh my God, she's singling me out. No. This is something we all go through, okay? We all go through times in our life where we get horse blinders with the real world and we're like, nope, I can't see anything over there. I'm not listening, like la 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 la. We just want to move forward so hardcore that we forget. And then we get all these signs. And what's funny is these signs, when they pop up, we're like, oh, that reminds me of my mom or my grandpa or my best friend. It reminds me of so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. But in our mind, we don't go, oh, maybe I need to slow down, or maybe I need to do this or that, okay? We recognize it. We know that it's about them. We moved on. So when we completely ignore the ancestors and the people, our family, the people that have come behind us, before us, and so on, or behind us still, we're missing out on a lot of messages and guidance. So with that one, Miss Karen, I would make sure that you have yourself a safe word or something. So the next time something pops up and you're like, oh, that reminds me of my grandma. Stop and look around. Stop and do a full turnaround and see what it is, like right here, what's in front of you, etc. Okay? Because that right there will help tremendously. Okay? It will help tremendously. The next one is the Feast of Plenty. This is choices and their consequences. Okay, please don't hate me for this. Please don't shoot the messenger, okay? Sometimes we have to just put on our big kid pants and do the thing. Sometimes, you know how I said we hold the key to all of the shackles that we have put on. Sometimes it takes work to get those shackles off, and sometimes we just have to deal with the consequences of the shackles that we put on. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. We just have to deal with the consequences of the choices that we have made. And that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm not going to go down that road too much further. Because it's pretty self-explanatory. The next one is the Martyr, and this is honesty and shame and restitution. We're going to talk about this whole card, okay? The Martyr is a very interesting card because there are a lot of people that take martyrdom to a whole level of insanity. I don't feel like that is you. I feel like you have people around you that have made you do this, and now it's habit, okay? I understand this on a very deep level, and anybody that has ever been in a toxic relationship understands it hardcore. You get in this push and pull codependent shit with this person where they suddenly have all of this problem and all of these issues, and then you feel like you have to fix them because that's your job in the relationship, right? And then it switches. Then they suddenly are really, really nice to you. And you feel like, well, shit, now something has to be wrong. Like, why would they be nice to me unless something is wrong? So all of these things, suddenly you make them wrong. And do you see what I'm saying? Like, you get in this push and pull with this person. And then you start playing that game. We all know the fucking game, where you feel like you have to be the martyr and you have to do the things that are just horrible and make sure everyone knows that you do them. You see what I'm saying? We start to get in that really horrible codependent habit. And it doesn't always have to be with just a person. It can be with a job. It can be with a situation. It can be with family members, whatever it is. Okay? So just be careful, because this right here tells me that there is someone or something, there's a situation that is pulling you towards this aspect. So let me just say this. There is a fantastic technique for dealing with people that are very narcissistic called gray stoning. This is where you do not give them, you don't give them what it is that they want from you, which is a response. It's hard as fuck on your part. It's hard as fuck on your part. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Because the only answers you are really able to give them, you need to talk to them in a text only or an email. The only answers you are really able to give them is yes, no, and okay. Or, you know, a very short sentence. No more. It sucks because we get in that habit of that push and pull. And so we have to fight that wanting to over-explain everything, or, oh yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. If you have ever been in a relationship with a true narcissistic person, it fucking sucks. And you will fight that oversharing response for the rest of your life. But start there, okay? You don't always have to give explanations for anything. You can simply, if somebody's like wanting to know where you're at, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm at Walmart. Why are you at Walmart? None ya. I'm here for none ya. You know what I mean? So I would just keep that in mind, Karen. People don't need access to every single little thing you do. Okay? I'm just saying what I'm saying. None you, damn it. None you, damn it. Hope that helps, Karen.
The last of your first five is Allie K.
Is Allie?
Allie K.
Allie K?
Okay, like initial last name.
Yeah, but the first name is Allie?
A-L-L-Y.
All right. All right, Allie, you ready? Yeah, I love that here. How are you, Allie, honey? I don't know if I like these reads, man. They make me have to, like, I don't know. They have to make me do the tough love. Hey, Salty, how are you this evening, sweetheart? They make me have to do the tough love, and I don't know if I like it. Good. I'm so glad you're doing all right. I saw a couple of people asking about tomorrow. So I will probably leave it open, but it will be subscriber only chat. Okay. Just so you guys know. All right. You ready? Well, you can't make that shit up. All right. Can't make that shit up either. Okay. You got a lot of serendipity, a lot of signs going on around you right now, don't you? You also start off with the martyr card, and I mean, y'all watch me shuffle. Y'all watch me shuffle. But then you have closing the door, which is completion and the number 5. Then you have caterpillar and opportunity, which is the number 4. Let's talk about this right here. All right. So here is the thing about opportunity that needs to change for you. For some reason, when opportunity comes knocking, you not only don't answer the door, but you board that bitch up. Like, you brick it, you mortar it, you put some titanium, every lock in Home Depot, like, There is something, and I have a feeling it has to do with this back here. There is something that causes you to look. Have you ever heard the saying, don't look a gift horse in the mouth? Sometimes an opportunity is exactly that. It is an opportunity for you to move forward. It's an opportunity for you to get what it is you're wanting. So say you go and you apply for 10 jobs, okay? All 10 of them are fantastic jobs. You would love to have any of these jobs. They pay great, they have great hours. It's something you've always wanted to do. It's like your dream jobs, okay? 10 of them. And let's just say that you get interviews for 5 of them, okay? But you're so sure you're not going to get any of those jobs that you only go to 2. You only go to 2. And of those 2, you get offered both jobs. Both jobs. But you don't take either one because you are so sure you're going to fail that you just don't even start. Stop overthinking them. Stop overthinking the opportunities. Now, I'm not saying don't trust your gut if your gut is screaming, red flag, red flag. But sometimes we are the red flag. We are the red flag. Not every opportunity is something trying to get you. Do you see what I'm saying? So, love yawns. So don't be poo-pooing every single opportunity that comes your way, okay? Let's talk about this one right here. This is closing the door and completion. And I love that that was the number 4 and this is the number 5. So here's the thing about this. Close the door. Just close the fucking door. When something is done, it is absolutely done. And you know it's done, but you still just leave the door open just in case. Setting hardcore yes and no boundaries is really, really tough. It's really, really tough. And we have these issues, all of us. All of us. It takes us working on it and training our own brains to go, okay, this is a boundary. I'm setting it. I'm closing the door. Whenever I was dating a couple of years ago, I had to set this hardcore boundary with myself, with me, not the person really, with me, that because I had just gotten out of a really horrible marriage, and I had to set the boundary with me that if I saw one of these main red flags, that it was a no-go for me, and I'm not compromising on that, I had to cut that person off. I had to cut that person off. Sounds so much easier than it is in real life, because especially if you've been in those relationships where you need that validation, you get it, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I got to the point where I had a special speech that I gave to the person, and it always started off with, I am not the girl for you. And I always made it sound like, you know, I can see where my shortcomings are not for you. And sometimes I was just a dick about it, because if you're a dick to me and you're gonna go down that road, we had the not the girl for you, buddy. And usually they got finger guns and all. I mean, we really went douchebaggy with it. Just saying what I'm saying. But I then would block them in my phone immediately, because that kept me from messaging them back. Because you know damn well they're going to message you repeatedly, either about what a bitch you are or how wrong you are or whatever. Okay? So, yeah. Just saying what I'm saying. Close the door. Close the door. All right. The next one, you also have the martyr card. Yours is a little different. Because of this first card over here, we're going to talk about this shame aspect, okay? I don't know what kind of level of shadow work you've done or you are doing, but we all go through a time. Well, let me start over. A lot of us that have really bad abandonment issues as kids go through a time where we feel a lot of shame when things are going good for us. We feel like we don't deserve those things. We feel like maybe somebody's going to pull the rug out from under us. It kind of goes along with this, but this is for opportunities that come up. This right here, we make ourselves a martyr in that we crash anything good that comes our way because we feel like we're not good enough. We feel like we're not good enough. Any kid that grew up with a parent that left, with a parent that was never around, or they had continual abandonment issues. Everybody has a little bit of an abandonment issue, okay? Because nobody wants to be left. I mean, nobody wants to be left. But when you have that kind of abandonment issue, the only person you are never going to be good enough for is you. But you will continue to fight against yourself over and over and over and over and over. Thank you, Josh. We fight against ourselves even though we know we are always enough for ourselves. We hear it all the time, but we know, well, I know that, but. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's something that you're going to have to work on, Miss Allie Honey, is healing some of that trauma issue that causes you to be stressed and worried and feel shame about every good thing that happens to you. I know that people, there's so many sayings on both sides, you know, like never look a gift horse in the mouth, or if it's too good to be true, it probably is. I'm going to say this. I have had some amazing opportunities come my way that I've looked at and went, there is no way that is for real. But it was. Just do your due diligence, do your research. And if something is wrong, it'll show very quickly. Okay? I hope that helps. I hope that helped. And hopefully I didn't break you too bad, right? Right? Because I saw you say, oh, that hits home. I was like, oh, no.
Cindy Nelson is the first of your regular reads.
Who is?
Cindy Nelson.
Cindy Nelson. All right. How to make moon water. Take a bottle of water and throw it out in your fucking yard. Yeah. I love you right back, Allie Honey. I mean, it's really that simple. You can get as ornate as you want to, but yeah, you can, seriously, just take a bottle of water, toss it out the fucking window. Bam, done. People make it way too complicated. Way, way, way too complicated. What is shadow work? Shadow work is taking the darker parts of yourself and dealing with them, facing them, integrating them into the whole of yourself. The shadow is the part of us that we hide, that we push down. So if you guys want to know about shadow work, don't learn about it on TikTok. Don't learn about it on TikTok. Shadow work was found in the 60s by Carl Jung. Okay. And start there. Okay. Start there. Start there. Don't learn about it on TikTok. I'll probably here in a few months start back up my shadow work courses, my free shadow work courses on Mondays. But there are so many people on TikTok that use shadow work and helping people with shadow work as a way to verbally abuse people or emotionally abuse people. And no, ma'am. No, ma'am. So don't learn about it on TikTok. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right, Miss Cindy Pooh. Ready? 30, 40. Interesting. So, Cindy, you also have the Morrigan, which is anticipation, introspection, and opposition. You are so welcome, sweetie. You're so welcome. Then you have the Horseman, which is the inevitable change, herald of change. Words are not my fucking friend. Then you have, thank you, Salty. Then you have groupthink, which is being mindful. All right. So let's start here, Cindy. This right here tells me that you have a really, really big problem or issue or whatever, however you want to say it, with doing things yourself. I totally understand this. And again, this is the pot calling the kettle black, because this tells me that you have that issue where you will not allow anyone to help you. This comes right back to that old saying of, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. That's exactly what this is right here. But guess what? And this is something I'm learning. This is something I'm learning, Cindy. And you need to learn too. There are people out there that not only you can trust, but that want to help you. They will help you. They want to help you, and they will do a fantastic job. Does it mean that there are not 500 bazillion people out there that are pieces of poo-poo and that are going to take advantage of you? There are, totally. Those people out there, trust me. Trust me. But there are also some amazing people out there that are more than happy to help you. Every single one of us has at least one person in our lives that is happy to help us at any time. We simply have to ask. Which is hard as fuck too. I totally get it, Cindy. So you and I, wheezes, peas, and carrots. I understand. I totally understand. The next thing is this. This is the herald of change. Not everything has to be chaos all the time. A lot of times we are the ones that cause the change, that cause the shift, that end up making it to where there is constant chaos around us. But not everything has to be changed all the time. I know people are like, well, you know, if you're not changing, you're stagnant, blah, blah, blah. And there is some truth to that, okay? There's actually a lot of truth to that. But it doesn't mean you have to have change every second of every day. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't worry so much about having a continual change, about movement, about shifting, about whatever it is. Don't worry so much about that. Okay? Let things calm down for a little bit. Be stagnant for a little bit before you decide to push forward with more and more and more change. Because sometimes we change just for the sake of changing without any real meaning behind it. Case in point, me shaving my head a little bit ago. There's a meaning behind it. There's a reason for it. My bangs obviously are not cooperating, but there's a reason for it. However, when I was doing it, I was like, oh God, I feel like fucking Britney Spears right now. You know, I didn't shave my whole head, but still, you know, that crazy like ha 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 in the mirror. You know, you feel full on Britney Spears Joker level. There's no meaning behind that. Change to change. Change for the sake of change isn't always the best thing. Okay? So let's talk about this Morgan card over here. With you, so this is anticipation, introspection, and opposition. Because of that first card over there, we're going to talk about opposition here. I have a feeling that you might be just a smidge stubborn. Just a smidge stubborn. Coming from someone with 5 Capricorn placements, let me just say, I understand. But the problem with being really, really stubborn is this. We can sometimes put our foot in the dirt and we concrete that bitch in there to where it's not moving. It's not going anywhere. You can't make me do anything. And the problem is we start to get this, one of my kids got diagnosed with this many, many moons ago. And whenever the pediatrician told us this, like, I laughed because I legit thought it was a joke. They diagnosed my kid with obsessive defiant disorder. And I thought that was, I legit laughed. I was like, well, like, doesn't every kid have that? No, it's a thing. I'm not saying you have it, okay? But I wanted to mention it because it's funny. So you sometimes pull out an opposition to something just to be in opposition. Just to be in opposition. A lot of times this happens when our personal power has been taken away for so long that we get a little bit of freedom, and then we're like, you know what? It's a thing. Yes. Everybody's like Googling that right now. When our personal power is taken away from us and then we get freedom, we sometimes go too far with it. We sometimes go way, way, way too far with it. And we get to that point where we just want to oppose something just to oppose it. It may be something that we love, but someone said it, and maybe they remind us of someone that we don't really like. So guess what? Now I don't like it. Do you see what I'm saying? So be really, really careful with what you're opposing just to oppose it. Okay? Does that make sense? I love that all of you are like, that's a thing? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I legit laughed. And the pediatrician was like, no, it's really a thing. It's really a thing. Yeah, it's really a thing. So, I hope that helped, love. But yeah, Cindy, you and I are like, we're a lot of like, I feel like I'm calling myself on my own bullshit right now. Like, I just want you to know. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Just saying what I'm saying. Did that help, Miss Cindy, honey? All right, who's my next one? Sassy Sass Fans.
So your next read is a gift from Amy, and it's for Cat Squishy Wicks.
Okay. All right. Amy, is your friend here? Oh my God, Joshua. Rhodey for Brody and class with Sass.
I mean.
Hey, Catherine. All right. No, that was Joshua. Joshua, that's funny as fuck, man.
That is funny.
Do you need a job as a PR manager? I'm just saying. Good night, Jen, honey. Like, I can't pay you much, like, or anything, but you need a job. The pay is terrible. The hours are terrible.
The laughs are great.
You get to watch me do random weird ass dances all the time over things like a bite of a brownie.
No, ma'am.
And you get to hear us ass say no ma'am all the fucking time.
Oh, ma'am.
All right. Here we go, Catherine. You ready? If I don't get on track, it's going to be bad because, yeah.
I need you to check your sugar before you do that read.
I
Or after
can't.
that read.
I can't because I'm on my phone.
Then I need you to put some food in your face. I heard your eyes roll.
They did not roll, ma'am. Sheila said the cake was funny. What was that about? Hey, don't call me on my own bullshit.
Do it. Do it.
Who was that? Are you on Sass's side? Harmonious Discord said, what was that about defiance again?
Right?
Oh, Josh. No. Josh said I heard them roll in Arkansas.
Yeah, I heard them. Sounded like mac and cheese.
Y'all stop it. Stop it. All right, Catherine.
Too much fun.
Yeah. It's nice to be grounded again. I'm not gonna lie. It's nice. All right. Yeah, the person in the hotel room below us probably was like, damn, I heard that down here. All right. You start off with the Prince, which is sorrow and lost valor and serendipity. Then you have spiritual narcolepsy. And then you have the Watchers, which is the transpersonal card. We're going to start with the Watchers. And I'll have you know, ma'am, that when we get off here, I'm going to fix me a caprese salad. And
Threaten me with a good time, why don't you?
I'm going to sit over there in the chair of no return. And
you're going to sit there for 2 minutes and knock out? I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Now I have a mouthful of peanuts. Because it made me feel weird. Like I should be eating.
I'm sorry.
I'm giving you a side eye. Can you hear that over there?
I was just thinking about how low it was before you started.
Yeah. That's the one bad thing about...
Sick Bodie on a trip is not a fun Bodie.
Yeah. That's the one bad thing about hiking and doing those things. Like I have to make sure I carry all kinds of candy and stuff with me. And then the candy makes my sugar spike and then crack. It's like stupid. So, anyway.
And road food is trash food.
Road food is trash food. The chair of no return. To be honest, I was going to call it the no-no chair. And then I felt like y'all would take that as a really, really bad thing. But before I start with Catherine's thing, let me say this. So we are staying in a hotel, obviously. Duh. But we got here. They put us in one room that had 2 queen beds because that's what I reserved. The table, the desk was broken. Like I barely leaned against it and it was like, so okay, can't have that. Then there, shut up. Then there was a bench to put your like suitcases up on. One of the legs, so instead of the legs being like this, like one of the legs was like that. It was like, no ma'am, no ma'am. And then we were looking, our view was of the courtyard, like it was really pretty. And I went to open the window. And there was like a thing on it where you can't open it very wide because there was no screen, which, okay, that's fine. I get it because, you know, you don't want somebody's stupid ass to fall out the window. But when I closed the window again, like part of it came off and you could actually stick your finger through the window. So we went downstairs and very politely. We're like, hey, this isn't really cool. Like, I don't know what's going on. So they moved us to a different room. And, please tell me his name again. Curtis. That's what I thought. And then I was like, wait, that can't be right. So Curtis downstairs was super, super sweet and moved us to a different room. And he had a couple options. We only have one big king bed, which is fine. But, because I sleep in a pillow fort anyway. But he had a couple of different rooms and was like, well, which one do you want? Which one do you want? You know, Sass was like, which one has the best internet? So guess what is directly below us? Their fucking servers, their internet. So
you're welcome.
Bah! All the internet. So yeah, it's great.
You're welcome.
And we have a mountain view. I can't wait to see that in the morning. I'm just saying what I'm saying. It was great. However, there is this chair over here. It's right there. You can't see it because it's dark. That chair probably needs to be burnt. And an incinerator.
That chair has seen some.
By people in hazmat suits.
It's seen some acid.
It's seen some shit and some stuff.
I thought that was a figure. It's seen some asses.
It has seen some asses. Yeah. It's one of those chairs.
But Curtis was really sweet.
Curtis was super sweet.
We thought we were going to have to fight.
Saz was like, we don't want to be those people, but we won't fight you. But we're ready to. And he was like, no, please, I don't want to fight you. He was like, I just want to
fight you, but I will.
He was like, no, come Monday. The scary chair. Yeah, it's the no-no chair. I didn't even set my bags in it. It's just.
There's nothing. Neither one of us did. There's nothing.
No. No.
The unspoken no space.
Yeah, college break room furniture. But it's just this one chair. Everything else is great. It's just that chair. It's just that chair. It has some questionable stains on it. And,
Otherwise, it's a nice hotel. Like, and he said the reason the window was falling out because some kid locked themselves in there and they had to take the window out to get in because they did the little flip lock. You imagine your kid being locked in a hotel room and ain't nothing you could do about it.
I'd be freaked out too.
Yeah.
And then my kid would probably get his ass busted for that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a love seat. That was funny, but wrong. Okay. All right. Catherine. Here we go. This is the Watcher card, Catherine. Save us, Catherine. Okay, from the chair of no return. This is the Watcher's card. Sometimes we get in a mood of watching everything around us so deeply that we forget to participate. But not only do we forget to participate, we get so deep in watching that instead of just participating, we check out completely. We allow ourselves to get so disconnected and so pulled away from everything else that when we try to reintegrate, we feel like there's this push against us. Like we can't even get back into there because that door is closed. But that's not the case. It's that we get so used to watching and being in our own little bubble that we forget that we have to make our bubble mesh with other bubbles. You don't just exist in the world and automatically have friends, relationships, jobs, things like that. You don't automatically have interpersonal relationships without effort on both sides. Now, we all have those friends that we don't talk to for fucking ever, and then they pop in every 6 months or year or whatever, and it's like nothing ever changed, and then poof, they're gone again. And we all have those friends. And then we all have friends that we have to keep up with on a daily basis, and they keep up with us. You have to force your bubble to mesh with other bubbles, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We get so stuck in this watcher mode that we get so disconnected and we think it's normal. Okay? Does that make sense? It's not normal. It's okay to be disconnected, but don't stay there. And don't stay so far away that you can't get back. Okay? The next one you have is spiritual narcolepsy. With yours, I think that's exactly what this is. Is that let me say this. Because I've kind of known you for a little bit too for a while. We all go through phases where our gifts shift. They change. So when they shift, we feel like we're on a plateau. We feel like we're asleep. We feel like we have spiritual narcolepsy. We feel like we can't move forward, like something's holding us back. Nothing is holding us back. It's that we suddenly have a wide open space and we are forcing there to be a gate there. And sometimes we do have to struggle against that fucking gate. Moving forward isn't always this big, glorious, glowing experience. Sometimes it's just a little tiny shift, a little tiny twist, a little tiny thing that happens. And then, boop, you're done. And we don't realize that we just moved from like the little tiny goldfish pond to like a lake we're just going to stay right here in the little tiny goldfish pond. Do you see what I'm saying? So let yourself go out into the lake. There's always going to be bigger fish. There's also going to be smaller fish. And there's going to be fish of the same size. There's going to be colorful fish. There's going to be friendly fish. And there's going to be dickhead fish, just like in the goldfish pond. Okay? So let's talk about this last card, though, because this is the Prince card, the Forgotten Adversary. This is sorrow and lost valor and serendipity. So we're going to talk about the lost valor aspect of this, okay? We all can look back at times in our life when we could consider those as our well, let me air quotes, glory days, as a time where maybe we felt like we looked so much better, or we were younger, or we had this job or that job, or we were doing this or that or whatever. We all can look back at a time in our life and go, oh yeah, that was it right there. And then we all have times where we feel like someone stole a piece of that from us. Whether we got dumb and got married at a young age, or whether we stopped our life to help a family member, or whatever it is, we all have something like that that's happened where it's like we feel like some of those glory days were stolen from us, from somebody that didn't deserve it. I'm just going to say this, Catherine. Every single thing that has happened to you and will happen to you is exactly what needs to happen in that moment. Now, I know people are like, oh, well, you know, what about this? And that. All of those oh wells aside, all of the good and all of the bad are exactly what needed to happen in that moment. Case in point. Whenever I graduated high school, I joined the military. Like, I joined the military actually on my 18th birthday as more of a fuck you for several people. I trained, worked my ass off, got to basic, did great, and got the fuck beat out of me. And then got the fuck beat out of me again. Like, really badly. And I got medically discharged. And I was devastated. I was fucking devastated. I was going to go in, I was going to do my 4 years, I was going to get a college degree, I was going to do a couple of specialties. I mean, I had everything planned out. Like, I was going to either go into the FBI, the CIA. Like, I wanted to be a scary motherfucker. Like, I wanted to be a scary motherfucker. So when I came home, I was utterly devastated. Like, soul-crushing devastated. However, about 2 months later, about the time that I would have been going on active duty, I would have been done with my leave and gone on active duty, Bosnia, the war in Bosnia kicked off. And the people that I was in basic training with all got pulled from where they were going to go there because I decided I wanted to be an MP for some reason. They all got pulled there. And some of them were in some very horrific spots. Who's to say that I didn't get the shit beat out of me and go home so my life would be saved? Who's to say that I wouldn't have got over there and never come home? Do you see what I'm saying? It's a hard thing to think about because I felt like I was like, I mean, I looked really good. I had like 2% body fat. I was with muscles. Ugh. I came home busted the fuck up. Things like that happened. They happened. And in the moment, I was devastated and it was terrible. But when I look back, it was for a reason. We're never going to see the reason in the moment. We're never going to see the reason in the moment. So all of those things that happened, Catherine, They happened exactly how they needed to happen when they needed to happen. The good and the bad. Okay? Keep that in mind. You are the amazing person that you are right now because of every single thing that has happened in your life to make you who you are. If any little bitty thing had ever changed or shifted, you would not be this Catherine right now. You may be better off. You may be worse off. You may not even be here. Okay? We all could be better off, trust me. I could be laying on a beach somewhere in Bora Bora right now with $90 bazillion in my bank account and never had to do shit again for the rest of my life. But I'm not. I'm in a hotel with a no-no chair. You're welcome. I had to throw the no-no chair in there somehow. Like, yeah. Okay? Just saying. I'm just saying. Okay? I hope that helps, Catherine. Who?
Monica Rodriguez.
All right, Miss Monica. You ready? She said, I think so. I promise I will not bring the, I can't make that promise. I was going to say, I promise I will not bring the no-no chair into your reading, but I can't make that promise.
It has its own personality. There is nothing we can do about it.
I love that. A&A for Life said, thank you to everyone who purchased a reading. The collective is grateful. And I love that, and I wanted to say that because you never know who is coming in. You never know who is scrolling by. You never know whether it's on TikTok or YouTube, who is listening and what it is that they needed to hear right then. Right then. Wow, since late 2021. Holy cow. That's crazy, Amy. That's insane. It blows my mind to think that some of you guys have followed me for that long. But yeah, you never ever know who is coming across and who needed to hear that. You never know whose ripples your ripple just touched. Just saying. Yep, I had to deal with somebody. Okay, it's okay.
That fucking guy.
This fucking guy. All right. There was somebody on YouTube being not. All right, Miss Monica. You start off with the Traveler, which is restlessness. Words are not my friend. Restlessness, independence, and appraisal. Then you have the Initiation, which is the Crossing. And then you have deep diving into a task. Okay? Let's talk about this deep diving into a task. Yours is different. Because earlier I had somebody and I was like, hey, you get hyper-focused on something. Yours is different. It's almost like you're afraid to deep dive into anything. Now, we get that way when we deep dive into something and we get really almost borderline obsessed. Every single one of us has something we're obsessed about right now. I am obsessed with like squishy things that can help my anxiety. I'm obsessed with them. My car is now full of them. It's a problem. I recognize it and I'm still going to do it, but it is a problem. But we all have those things that we get obsessed about and they change and they shift. Every now and then we have someone that comes across our path that makes fun of us for that, or they put us down for that, or something happens. And now we're like, oh, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. So we hide it. And then we don't want to deep dive down anything else because we're so worried about how we're going to look to other people. or what this person or that person is going to say. I've painted all of my life. Thank you for the meteors, Josh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've painted all of my life, okay? And I was painting one time, and I was dating somebody. This was way back in like the early 2000s. I was dating someone, and he came to my house, and he saw one painting. He was like, oh, that one's really cool. And he was like, that one's not so great. Okay. Like, I hadn't finished that painting yet, and I had worked for like several days on it. But because I cared about this person, I thought, well, shit, maybe they're not really that great. And so I stopped painting for almost 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. Don't let somebody's jealousy, shitty view of themselves, or whatever keep you from deep diving into something. If you want to be obsessed with that, whatever it is, Monica, girl, come on, we'll go shopping for it right now, okay? Deep dive into it and be obsessed, okay? It's all right. And if someone has a problem with what you are obsessed with, please, please, you can send them my way. I got it. I got it, okay? Let's talk about this next one. This is the initiation, the crossing, which is the initiation. Every single thing we do is a crossing. It's an initiation. It is to prepare us for something else. If you never step out on the bridge, however, you're never going to learn the lesson. Because when this pops up, whatever it is, when it pops up and we look around and we go, oh, this is going to suck, but I got to do it. Some people go, oh, it's going to suck. I think I'm going to just go sit back over here. That's why we have a no-no chair, because they just go sit and they don't ever want to do anything. I told you I should not have brought the no-no chair into this, but I even think I tried to promise you. Anyway, they go sit down. They don't ever take a step out onto the bridge. They just don't. So then when they get to the end of their life, to the end of their path, they look around and they don't understand why they didn't really learn anything, or why their life didn't feel fulfilled or anything like that. There are people around you all the time that talk about how their life isn't fulfilling, or how it, hey, Brandon, how are you? Or how they don't understand why they can't move forward and so on, because they don't want to take the step out there. I feel like I needed to say that, Monica, because it's almost like there's an apprehension there with something. Like, you don't want to step out and do something. Go buy yourself the most amazing pair of shoes, of heels, of whatever, and go fucking do it. Okay? Go step out on the thing. I'm gonna tell you guys a little secret, okay? Just saying. This is something my grandma taught me, actually. My grandpa used to make fun of her for having too many pairs of shoes. But I went with her one time when she was older. And she, you know, after I got my driver's license, like, I got to be Granny's chauffeur, and I was just fine with that. So I took her to Dillard's, and we were getting some shoes because she only liked this one certain kind. She picked out a pair that was like literally this. She had 2 other pairs just like this pair in her closet. And so I was like, you know, why do you need a 3rd pair of those, Granny? Like, why do you need a 3rd pair of those? And she said, I'm fixing to go in. She was going in for, I don't remember what, some kind of test, like health stuff. She was like, and I know that no matter what they find, they're going to tell me I have to eat, and I have to do this, and I have to change, and I have to shift. She was like, so, you know, it was, I think, Saturday. She's like, so Monday is a change in my life, and I'm a little nervous about it. So I'm going to buy myself a new pair of shoes. Well, I mean, you know, 19-year-old me, that didn't really compute. So I'm like, okay, yeah. But on the way home, she said that buying herself a new pair of shoes or changing the shoes that she had, because when she was a kid, she grew up in the Depression, you could just go buy a new pair of shoes. Changing the shoes you had helped you take a step forward on a new path. Helped you take a step forward. I have the yellow dot. Why do I have a yellow dot? Would help you to take a step forward. And, oh, and there's the red dot. I shouldn't have fucked with it.
Are you paused?
Hmm?
Let me see. Are you paused?
Am I? I just now realized that,
Not on TikTok, but yes on, wait a minute. I don't know which one I'm on. Hold on.
oh, I've got the yellow dot back.
Yeah.
There's the green. Okay. I paused. So buying a new pair of shoes or changing the shoes you have will help you and protect you in moving forward. In the times of my life where I could not afford a new pair of shoes, like, I mean, I could have, but then maybe I wasn't going to eat, you know, or whatever, I would go in and I would change something about my favorite pair of shoes. I would draw something protective on the bottom, or maybe I would draw on the sole of the shoe or something like that. Okay. And I still do that. I still do that. Now I have too many pairs of shoes, so I just go change a pair of shoes. Doesn't mean I don't buy new shoes, but shoes represent power. If you're worried about whatever this is, go buy yourself a new pair of shoes. They don't have to be expensive. Okay? They don't have to be expensive in any way, shape, or form, Miss Monica. Hell, go to the dollar store, buy yourself a pair of flip-flops. You know what you see what I'm saying? Doesn't matter. Buy yourself a cheap pair of shoes or change the shoes you have. Okay? Thanks, Josh. So let's talk about this. Restlessness and independence and appraisal. We're going to talk about all three of those because all of this right here talks about a hesitation, a pause. And I have a feeling that this is what you really, really need to hear. Okay? That card right there represents being independent and continuing to move forward. Don't stop appraising your life and where you are and where you feel like you should be and so on. When we stop appraising our life, we stop wanting to move forward. We stop wanting things. We all know somebody that has settled and has just kind of checked out.
Sorry.
You know what I mean? We all know somebody that is married to somebody that they just don't mesh. They just don't mesh. One person is holding the other person back because the other person doesn't want to let go. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we all know somebody like that. But we do it to ourselves really, really badly. We stop appraising ourselves because we judge ourselves against other people. Oh, well, so-and-so is doing this. So-and-so is doing that. So-and-so is doing this. And we forget to stop and appraise our own path, where we are, what we should be doing. So I would say this, Miss Monica. Start there. Appraise your path and see where you are, where you actually want to go. And do this repeatedly on your path. Continually be looking at where you are and where you want to go. And if where you want to go shifts, cool. Let it shift. It's just like whenever people go to college, and you might go to college. Here, let me tell you a little bit about the Brody. When he was a junior and a senior in high school, he wanted to go to medical school and become a neurologist because I had so many issues with epilepsy and the migraines, and he just wanted to help, right? Which I thought was the sweetest fucking thing. Well, then he had to go get blood taken and found out that he faints. And so he decided that may not be the best thing for him. I know tons of people that have gone to college, like, I want to be a graphic design. I want to be an attorney. I want to be this. They get to college and they take a class and they just love that class. And their whole major shifts. So it's okay to shift. It's okay to change. Just don't stop appraising where you are and where you're going. Okay? Does that make sense, Miss Monica?
Jasmine.
You got this, sweetheart. Okay? Aw, thank you guys. Good. I'm glad that made sense. All right, Miss Jasmine. You are so welcome, sweetheart. Good night, love. All right, Miss Jasmine. You start off with the Poet of Avalon, which is fame and stagnation and pride. And then you have the Will o' the Wisp, which is treasures hidden in the shadows. Then you have the Dust Devil, which is moving out of stagnation. Good night, Kristen, honey. All right. Let's talk about this one. After I chew up the massive peanut that I just put in my mouth. I swear it got like 10 times bigger when I put it in my mouth. All right, ready? Just kidding. Son of a bitch.
Did you get peanut butter mouth?
Yeah, I got peanut butter. Like, man, I feel like a dog. Just...
You got something to drink?
Yeah, I got like, of course, I have 3 drinks over here.
I don't know why I asked. I heard it coming out of my mouth like, duh.
Mm-hmm. I always have at least 2 drinks with me at any point. Always. Or 30. Mm-hmm. 3 is usually the number. Just saying, 3 is usually the number. Miss Jasmine, let's talk about this right here. Yours is actually literal. You need to move. You need to shift. You need to change. Whatever it is that... I have a feeling that it's something with you. Okay? It's something with you. You are holding your own self back for a reason. I don't know if this is because of a person, if it's because of a self-imposed belief, if it's because... I don't know what it is. You are holding yourself back. Look at what the underlying fear is there and why you're holding yourself back. Because that is something that is a deep shadow work aspect that needs to be worked out. Because if you continue to hold yourself back, you're going to look back one day and say, man, I wish I would have done X or Z or Y or Q or whatever, or all of the above. Stop holding yourself back, Jasmine, okay? Stop holding yourself back. The next one is this, and I think this is interesting, especially, it just clicked in my head, especially after talking about holding yourself back with that Dust Devil card. This is the treasures hidden in the shadows. Look at why, A, you're holding yourself back, and B, what you gain from holding yourself back. When we do a lot of shadow work and literally just start there, why am I holding myself back? What am I afraid of? Am I afraid that I'll have to move away from my family? Am I afraid that I'm going to fail? Am I afraid that I'm going to succeed? Whatever it is, what is that? I thought
The
it...
air conditioner.
No?
No. Chair.
Mm-mm.
Yes, the chair.
No, I'm not moving. I'm moving this. It just started. Oh, there it is.
It's that. It's the chair.
It's the big man chair. Okay. All right. All right. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? Sorry. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise?
Life was Liberty. We play. What the fuck was that? A lot. A lot. What was that?
Do you hear that shit over there? Do you hear her over there?
I'm just saying.
I mean, you're not wrong.
With love, we play. What the fuck was that? A lot.
You're not wrong. All right. Shit. Okay. Look at what it is that's causing you to hold yourself back. There is something there in the shadow, hidden back in there, that's going to be like the beacon, like, oh my God, like that kind of thing. So look at what is hidden back there that is causing you to hold your own self back. I have a feeling that when you go through and just that, sometimes it just takes one simple question to start us on an amazing journey, especially when it comes to our own shadow work. One simple question of why am I holding myself back? And you're not always going to get an immediate answer, okay? But why are you holding yourself back? You're going to learn so many amazing things about yourself, things you've overcome, things that you've accomplished, things that you've let go, things that you've left to the wayside. Like you're going to find out so much amazing stuff about yourself, Jasmine, that it's going to give you a massive, massive dose of self-confidence. Confidence? The fuck was that? Let's talk about this one. This is fame and stagnation and pride. From these other two cards here, I don't think at all that you have an issue with pride, okay? I think you do have a problem with fame and stagnation. The stagnation, because this very first one was moving out of stagnation, but sometimes we get comfortable in stagnation. We get comfortable in a situation because it's easy. Even if it's horrible, it's easy. And we don't want to change because that means the unknown. There's an old saying, you know, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Just saying what I'm saying. I will just say this from personal experience. The devil that you don't know is almost always better. Is almost always better. And I know people will say, well, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But most of the time it is. Because it's different and it's changed and it's shifting. Even if you go from lush green fields of, you know, Kansas to the desert of New Mexico, change is good. Change is good. There's beauty in every single thing. Okay, Miss Jasmine? So find out why you're holding yourself back. And then start unlocking all of those shackles. Okay? Does that make sense?
Alright, I'm not even going to mutilate Emily's name. It's Emily Jade. We're just going to leave it just like that.
Emily J. Gotcha. Emily, apparently you have an interesting last name. You are so welcome.
It's one that Sass can't articulate properly without being offensive in some way.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I look like a third grader out here, like trying to sound it out.
She said, hi, I do.
I'm like a third grader, like.
It's Estonian. Okay, that's interesting.
But how do you pronounce it?
Sass wants to know how you pronounce it. If you feel comfortable giving that out on TikTok.
Oh, no, I didn't think of that, sorry.
She said, no, I didn't think about that, I'm sorry.
It's pretty. I bet it makes a pretty signature.
She said, like YS. See, now I want to look at it. Now I want to see your last name.
I'll show it to you.
Jasasys. Okay.
Bright, ain't it?
Yeah. Jasasys. Okay. So, yes. Jasasius. So the L is an S. So it sounds like an L. I mean, it sounds like an S.
Jasajas or something like that.
Okay. I'm sure I'm still myrtleating it, but
it's very. I bet it makes a pretty signature.
Like y'all. Okay. Yeah, Sass said, I'll bet it makes a beautiful signature. Sounds like why. Okay.
The L sounds like why?
Yalias. Yalias.
I'd have never got there from here. I would have never got there from here. That's why I said I'm not going.
Y'all. Yalias. Yalias.
Yeah, I'd have never got there. That's why I wasn't going to be offended.
She said yes, close enough. See, now I'm like, I wonder if I can look that up on Google later. Like, how to say it correctly. One of the things I love about this is that when I do reads and I see the names come across there, y'all, I'm sure you guys hate your names and stuff like that, but some of you guys have the most beautiful fucking names. Like, they're just beautiful. Like, they're just beautiful. I'm just saying. Yours is really cool. The way it's spelled. Oh my God. Yeah, I'll bet it is this. I'll bet if you did it in calligraphy. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's got all the tall letters and the Y's. Oh my God. Yes. All right. All right, Miss Emily. So, what did I just sling all over my cars? I have no idea what that is. Okay. There's a piece of paper, a little black piece of paper. I don't even know like where that would. Okay, I digress. Stop it. Mother of Dawn, which is beauty and agency and compassion. Then you have the Watchers, which is transpersonal. And then you have overwhelm and plenty, overflow. All right. Ready? With this card right here, I have a feeling that you overwhelm people. And I'm sure that so many people have told you that you need to calm down, that you need to learn to control your energy, that you need to center yourself or whatever. But let me say this, because I'm sure that you probably have over your life. People that have very high energy get told that a lot, that they are too much, that they're intimidating, that you have to calm down, that you have to slow down, that, you know, watch your mouth and do this and this and this. And so we end up dimming ourselves and dimming our light and just dimming who we are. If you overwhelm people, you overwhelm them. It's okay. Dimming yourself for someone else is not okay. Okay? Dimming yourself for someone else is not okay. It's never okay. And if someone expects that from you, then they are not a person that needs to be in your path. And I lost connection again. Cool. Z's. I need to put my internet on. There we go. Because I'm just on 5G. I forgot to do the internet.
Oh.
So I'm on 5G.
I was like, why are you losing some?
If you overwhelm people, it's because they're not your people. If you intimidate somebody, they're not your person. If think you understand what I'm saying. But if you overwhelm somebody, please don't ever dim yourself again. Don't ever dim yourself to make someone else happy or comfortable. There's plenty of room in this world for them to go somewhere else or you to go somewhere else. Don't stay in a situation where, don't stay in a situation where you're having to dim yourself to be what they want. The next card is this, and this is the Watcher's card. You need to take a unique stance with where you go from here. Start watching everything around you more carefully. And when you're watching everything around you more carefully, take note of patterns. Patterns are a thing, people, places, things, situations. Every single thing you ever experience will have a pattern. It will show you a pattern. Watch those patterns. Pay attention to those patterns. A person will always show you a pattern, and you can trust that pattern is how that person is going to be. If this person always goes out of their way to help other people, to be kind, to be nice, they're a good person, they may just be a little quiet back over here, you can trust that that's how that person is going to be. If they always show you a cycle that they're in where something is always wrong and then it's your fault and then everything is great, you know, those things, they're going to be that person. Trust the cycle that that person shows you. But you definitely need to be paying very close attention and watching what's going on around you. Okay? I saw that you said OMG, so I assume that that hit home. The next one is this. You have the Mother of Dawn, which is beauty and agency and compassion. Okay, good, good. So I don't have to ask if you understand that. One of the things that you need to change in your life has to do with compassion. People that are very high energy usually go out of their way to help other people. They're very compassionate because they have the energy to do those things. They have the energy to do the things for themselves and for someone else. So they have a tremendous amount of compassion in them. The problem is that they spread themselves way too thin. Compassion is fantastic. However, if you are draining every bit of yourself to be compassionate for someone else or if for a situation or whatever, you're not being compassionate at all. You're deflecting. You're deflecting your energy with something that really needs to happen with you for something completely different. So take a look at where you are placing your compassion and if it really needs to be there or not. And then I would also take a look at your own energy and seeing if you are, why am I yawning a lot during your reading? And see where you are maybe not being as compassionate with yourself or taking as good care of yourself as you should be. Does that one make sense too? Thank you, Josh. You are so welcome, sweetheart. Good. I'm glad that makes sense.
Felicia Roberts.
All right, Miss Felicia Roberts. Laura was asking where she was on the list. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I could help you. And I'm glad that second one made sense. So in other words, I need to get my ass in gear is what I'm hearing.
I mean, I didn't say it. Laura did. Laura said that. I didn't say that.
All right, Miss Felicia. Wow. This fucking card just keeps coming out tonight, and I'm shuffling this deck. Okay, all right. This fucking guy. Hey, Enchanted Willow. Sass got all those scented. Sass got all those scented out.
What was it? The
thing for one of the earrings.
So there was 3 people that were given numbers that did not exist.
Will you message the site?
But Christine messaged me about one of them, and I told her that I would pull those 3 out and look at them when we got to this hotel. So,
Okay.
Yeah, there were 3 people that their numbers didn't match.
Okay.
But they gave their information to Christine. I got it.
Okay, gotcha.
I just
Gotcha.
haven't got there from here yet.
All right, Christine said that's the one.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. She's on it. She's helping me with this evening. We'll get it to you, I promise.
Yeah.
They're yours. We've got them labeled for you, I promise.
Yeah, those 3 people, whoever they are, I've got them set aside, and you didn't lose your stuff. I just need a minute to get from one hotel to the other and get it back in it.
Mm-hmm. I've been making her climb mountains, so there's that.
I may climb every mountain.
All right. Miss Felicia, you start off with Osiris, which is commitment, responsibility, and acquisition. Then you also have the damn Dust Devil card, which is moving out of stagnation, and you can't make this shit up. You also have the Overwhelm and Plenty card. Y'all saw me shuffle. I just want to reiterate that. Fucking guy. Anyway, that is now a thing, Sass. I've been saying it so much. If you guys don't watch What We Do in the Shadows, then you may not understand. But if you do,
This fucking...
you know. All right, so let's talk about the overflow and words, the Overwhelm and Plenty. And I'm going to talk about these 2 together, okay? Because you have the Overwhelm and Plenty, and then you have responsibility and acquisition. These go hand in hand. You have got to take things off your plate. Let's start with the Overwhelm and Plenty. Look, I'm even rolling up my sleeves like, let's roll on this plate. Right now, you're in a place where you're overwhelmed. And there's no plenty. It's just being overwhelmed. There's no moving forward. There's no moving backwards. There's no sideways. There's no sitting down because it's just overwhelming. We all get to a point like that, but the problem is I think you've been there for far too long. And when we're there for far too long, that's not just burning the candle at both ends. That's also starting to burn it from the middle. Eventually, there's a huge split right there, and you cannot keep up with both sides. So one of the things that has to change is all of the things that are overwhelming you. You have got to cut some things out. Seriously. And if you have someone that is pushing you to do some of these things, please feel free to throw me under the bus. Be like, hey, my spiritual advisor said I have to cut some of this shit out. Or I've been a life coach for a long time. I just don't really do it anymore. You can tell them you're a life coach. If you don't want to tell them I don't give a shit. Whatever you want to use, just be like, look, this is who you need to talk to. Blah, send them my way. I got you. Okay? So here's the thing. You have got to lower the amount of stuff on your plate. It's too much. It's too much. You only have a certain amount of energy every single day. And before you even get out of bed, it is all given out already. This is why you are so exhausted at the end of the night and why you don't sleep well. Okay? The next thing is this Dust Devil and moving out of stagnation. I don't think that you're stagnant. I think that you're weighed down. when we get too weighed down with too many things, we have a problem giving those things up because they've been our responsibility for so long that we don't want to give them up. Then we feel like we're stuck because we have too many things. I think with you, it's just something that has been expected of you to do for so damn long that you can't give it up because it's expected. And so now it's your job and you take a lot of pride in it. But the problem is, that is the shackle. That is the shackle. That is what's holding you back. Which all comes down to this last card, which is commitment, responsibility, and acquisition. Be careful what you take on. Be careful what responsibilities you take on. We all have opportunities come our way all the time. All the time. Well, you could take on this job, or you could take on that job, or you could be in this relationship, or have this friendship, or whatever. We have all of these responsibilities and things that come our way all the time. But the problem is, for those people who are people pleasers, for those people who never feel good enough and who feel like they have to prove themselves to everybody else all the time, we take on way too much because we think, well, if I can also do this, people will love me. If I can also do this, people will love me. If I can do this, people will love me. If I can do this, this person will love me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we keep justifying those things in our mind. And then we get back to this. So this is kind of like this vicious cycle right here. Then you take on too much, and then you realize you're overwhelmed. And then when you realize you're overwhelmed, you realize that you're stuck. And you're stuck because you have too many responsibilities that you've taken. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like this crazy vicious cycle. The only way to stop this cycle is to literally step out of it. It's like watching somebody run in a rut over and over and over, not realizing that all they have to do is just take a step to the side. They just have to pause and take a step to the side. They don't have to keep going forward in the rut, but they do. You are going to have to let some responsibilities go. You are going to have to say no to new things, and you are going to have to organize some of the responsibilities that you just can't let go of. We all have ones we can't let go of. Like, you know, you have to feed your kids. Like things like that, you know. We all have ones that we can't let go of. But there are so many other things that you can. Okay? I know that all of these were kind of this leads to this, leads to this, because this right here is just a cycle. I wouldn't be surprised to know that you had other people around you that were in this cycle and you saw this growing up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you had one parent or another, as well as another role model in your life that they were in this cycle as well, and they just kept on being overwhelmed, moving forward, being overwhelmed, moving forward.
I'm going to get coffee. That's just in case.
Okay, these are my next four.
Yeah, that's just, I'll be back before then. I'm just going to get coffee, but that's just in case.
Okay, gotcha. Spank you. Oh, here, take this. You want to take this down?
Oh yeah, did I?
No, those just need to go to the front desk.
Oh, okay. I was confused. Yeah. Okay, yes.
Holy shit, did that hit home? Is that what holy shit means? Good. Okay. I'm glad that makes sense. I'm glad that makes sense. And I'm so glad that you guys are not, you know, shooting the messenger here with this. At least not yet. All right. Miss Denise, you're my next one. You are so welcome, Phil. Miss Denise, you're my next. Hey, Block Mamba, how are you? You think you needed the tough love tonight? We all need tough love sometimes. I've been tough loving myself this week. Having some hardcore conversations with myself. Usually they start with, bitch, what are you doing? It is what it is. Ready, Miss Denise? Well, thank you for not pulling that fucking card again. You start off with the Maestro, which is understanding, commitment, and ingenuity. Community and ingenuity, excuse me. Words are a thing that are not my friend tonight. Then you have the Galactic Mushroom, which is the Divine Matrix. Then you have the Me Talks, which is revitalizing the body and soul. Oh, okay. Don't hate me after this, Denise. So, self-care is a thing. Self-care is a thing. And everybody should have a really good self-care regimen. However, there is such a thing as too much self-care. There is such a thing as self-care at the wrong time. There is such a thing as self-care depleting the things that we need to do. We sometimes check out of a situation and we use self-care as the reason. Well, I can't go do this because I haven't finished my hair. I can't do this because I'm going to do this. Okay? Don't use self-care as a way to disconnect yourself from something that you don't want to do. We all have shit that we don't want to do. But if you use self-care as a way to get out of some of those things, that will come back to bite you in the butt later. It will come back to bite you in the butt later. So be really, really careful about what you label as self-care and about when you are doing said self-care, okay? Sometimes certain responsibilities have to be done at that moment. They can't be put off. I'm just saying what I'm saying. It'd be like if you had a hole in your roof and it was raining and the rain's coming in. That is not the time to go take a bath. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to fix the roof. Okay? The next one is this. This is the Divine Matrix and the Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix. Everything happens for a reason. The good and the bad. And I know people will say, oh, that's toxic positivity. It's not. Things are fated to happen. Whether you want to call it fate, whether you want to call it destiny, whatever you want to term it. Things are fated to happen. We have choices, and we can make choices along the way. But sometimes there are things that are going to happen no matter what. Okay? So if you have been trying to, say you've been trying to push forward on this certain path, and you keep pushing forward and you keep pushing forward, and every time you push forward and you're clawing and you're scraping to get forward, and then you get smacked in the forehead and sat down on your ass every single time. But you know what? That's the path you want to take, so you keep pushing forward. Eventually you have to realize, maybe this is not the path I'm supposed to take. Maybe this is not the path I'm supposed to take. There may be a much easier path. Everything happens for a reason. And I just want to end talking about this card with this. Rejection is protection. Okay? Rejection is protection. You might not be able to be in a relationship with that person right now because maybe that person isn't in a spot where they can be in a good, solid relationship. Maybe they have some emotional healing that needs to be done first. You may not be able to get that dream job in this certain specific company because maybe the person that's there in that job right now, they have to realize that's not their path yet. So they have to find their next job and move on before you can have that job. Does that make sense? Everything happens for a reason. Okay? Now, let's talk about this one. This one is understanding, ingenuity, and community. We're going to talk about the understanding aspect of this. Because this right here is something that we all deal with, we all fight with. And it's knowing that we should do something or shouldn't do something, yet we do it anyway. It's like knowing that we should not be, let's just use dating as a good example, because we all know somebody that we've been like, dude, don't date that person like that. They're not good for you. They're not good for you. And they just do it. Not only do they date the person, they double down, like they move in together, they get married, something stupid like that. We've all been around somebody that we're like, you are not my person. You are not my person. But we stay in that situation for some stupid reason. We all have times when we know damn well what we should and shouldn't be doing, and we do the opposite anyway, thinking that we know better. So, Denise, pay really close attention to the things in your gut, the things that you just know, and follow your gut. Even if everything looks fantastic. Say you meet somebody, like friendship, everything looks fantastic, like they seem like a great person, but everything in your gut is like, no. But yeah, you just keep being friends with this person. And then they start fucking you over repeatedly. And you know that they're going to fuck you over, but you keep being friends with this person. Your gut knows damn well that this is not a good person and you need to cut them off, but we just can't because we think we can change them. We think whatever it is. Know when your understanding and your gut is correct and listen to it, okay? We all struggle with this, so please don't think that I am perfect with it, because I am sure as shit not. I am sure as shit not. I struggle with that on a daily basis. I hope that made sense, Miss Denise. Miss Kathy Mazel, you are next, love. I love that so many of you guys have popped in and said, man, I needed to be here right at this moment. I've even had a couple people on YouTube say it. So, yeah. All right, Miss Kathy, you ready? Lots of threes. Okay. Woo. Amy, we're probably going to hit 13 yawns or more. All right, Miss Kathy, you start off with the forgotten adversary, which is sorrow, lost valor, and serendipity. Then you have fortune's timing, luck, being in the right place at the right time. And then you have the universe is your partner. by the way, 23 and 31. Notice all of these were red, all of these were yellow. This is a cycle, okay? Plus you have the wheel in the middle, like this is a cycle. And normally I've been starting down here and working my way up to like the biggest thing, but we're gonna start with the biggest thing and go down instead, because like I said, this is a cycle. We're gonna start with the sorrow aspect. The sorrow and the serendipity are the main things here. The lost valor really doesn't pertain to you, okay? Every single one of us has loss. Every single one of us has times where we miss people that are no longer here. Every single one of us has times where internally we're sad. There's no real reason. We can't tell somebody why we're sad. We're just sad. That's it. Okay? We're just sad. The problem is when we're sad, we see a lot more things than we do when we're happy. Okay? Let me see if I can get this saying right. When we're happy, we listen to the melody. When we're sad, we listen to the words. Does that make sense? When you're happy, you see the good things. You see the overview of things. When you're sad, you see the details. So when that happens, Kathy, and you notice that you're down, that you're sad, and that you're seeing all the details, you're seeing all those serendipitous things that tie everything together. You've seen close hand where you have been helped, whether it's by God, whether it's by the universe, whatever it is. You see where the universe has pushed you forward. And you fight against that. Because it's almost like saying, well, I didn't work for this, so I don't want it. Or I don't deserve it. The other thing is this, and this is the fortune's wheel, which is luck and right timing. I think that you have probably always been a little lucky. And I'm going to put that in air quotes, okay? Because seeing that the universe is your partner, and having this luck and right timing, I know this is something that needs to change, and we're going to talk about this cycle, okay? Because the sorrow and the lost valor, or excuse me, the sorrow and the serendipity, you see all of these things where you've been in the right place at the right time, where the universe has helped push you along, and you fought it every step of the way. When we're happy, it's so much easier to let things happen. It's so much easier to accept things, to let things happen, to move forward, to do whatever it is. We just kind of giggle and dance and we go on through it. When we're sad, we see all the details and we see why all the things happen. We see why we lost this person or this job or this friend or whatever. We see why. And we can't enjoy it because we're sad. So this is a vicious cycle of what's going on. You see all of the amazing things, but you can't move forward with them because you're sad. I'm not sure the best thing to tell you on how to go about fixing this, except I am going to say this. Seeing the connections with everything is a fantastic thing, good and bad. So take a breath and just look at all the interconnectivity. This is partially why I love sacred geometry so much, because if you're looking at any sacred geometric pattern, Everything comes, my nose is itching, somebody's talking about me. Everything comes right back to the same place that you started. It's a cycle. Okay? It's a cycle. I wish I had really good advice to tell you on how to fix this. Maybe make yourself a list of all the interconnectivities. So whenever you're out of the sorrow mode and in the happy mode, you can appreciate them more. That's what I would say. I hope that helps, Miss Kathy. I hope that helps. Wish I had better advice for that one. Miss Jessica Carmona. I'm so glad that a lot of these readings are resonating with a lot of you guys. That makes me happy.
How many more you got on that paper I gave you?
Jessica and then Jade.
Okay. Just want to make sure I had time to change.
Oh, do you want to write the other ones down for me?
No, I just want to change clothes. I was just trying to buy myself some time. Coffee.
All right, Miss Jessica. 3 and 35. Interesting. All right. So you started with the ageless, which is healing and graciousness and acceptance. Then you have the benefactor, which is grace and generosity. And then you have the lost compass, which is getting back to integrity. So let's start here. You don't need to get back to integrity because you never lost it. You can't find something that you already have. It'd be like me holding this card and going, I'm going to find this card. I already have it. It's in my hand right now. You can't get back to an integrity that you already own. You already have. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense as I'm saying it. I don't know who has convinced you or who has planted the earworm in there, because that's all it takes is one little fucking earworm. I don't know who has planted that in there, that you are less than, that you've lost your integrity, that you aren't the same person you used to be. And that is the favorite thing for gaslighters to tell somebody is, you aren't the same person I met. Of course not. Everyone changes. But it doesn't mean that you're any less of the same who you were. It doesn't mean you have any less of your own integrity. You don't need to go look for it because you've already got it. You have it. You've always had it. Okay? The next one is the grace and generosity card. And this is going to sound, well, maybe it won't sound weird. Hopefully it won't sound weird. The people that are trying to make you think that you have to get back to this integrity aspect of yourself, or that you have to try to get back to the old self or whatever, be graceful to them. Don't shut them off. Don't cut them out yet. Be graceful to them. They have way more problems in their life than you realize. They have way more problems in their life than you realize. Be graceful to them as you're starting to set those boundaries. Here's why. There's a double-edged sword here. The people that are making you think that you've lost yourself are the same ones taking advantage of your generosity. And that should make you angry. It should hurt and it should make you angry. But on the other side of this sword, by being graceful to them as you walk out of their life, it should force a change. It doesn't mean to let them change and go back to them, because they won't change. They won't change. They'll change for somebody else. But with you, it's already a pattern. It's already a cycle. They can't change. You already have your integrity and you don't need to go looking for it. Be graceful to the people that are telling you to go look for it. The people that are telling you. Be graceful to them, because they're going to have an interesting time moving forward without that generosity of yours. I saw your comment up there. Be graceful to all these other people. And sometimes it's not just an ex or, you know, someone in a relationship that we're leaving. This can be family, this can be a job, this can be friends. We all have those wonderfully toxic family members that, I had to roll my eyes really big at that love to point out our shortcomings when they are one of the worst people we've ever met in our lives. Being gracious to those people, being kind to those people, without giving into them or letting things get to you or whatever. It's kind of like having a velvet coated cattle prod. Does that make sense? Like having a fuzzy cattle prod. Kindness is absolutely a weapon against those people, yes. Be kind. I've always loved the saying, you know, just smile and be quiet so people will wonder what you're up to. I've always loved that, because when you are kind to people that don't deserve it, people that are pushing you to be something or do something else in a bad way to benefit them, and you're kind to them after you've cut them off, it generally throws them off kilter in a way that they don't understand. I'm just going to leave it at that. I find it interesting that you have two cards talking about grace here, but this one is healing, graciousness, and acceptance. Now, I don't feel like you need to change your healing. I don't feel like you need to change your graciousness, because we already talked about that. But what I do think that needs to change is acceptance. We don't have to accept what someone has done to us. We don't. We can choose to change. We can choose to grow. We can choose to use that as a catalyst. We can choose to use that in so many different ways. We don't have to accept what they've done to us. That's like accepting, it's like accepting a ticket to go on the Titanic, knowing the Titanic is going to sink, and getting on it knowing it's going to sink, and staying on it knowing it's going to sink, when we don't even have a reason to leave town. Do you see what I'm saying? This goes right along with changing your verbiage and changing what you're saying about a situation, because in our minds, we can look at things and say, okay, this happened to me. I'm a victim of this. I'm a victim of that. I'm a victim of that. But in reality, if you look at that situation and you go, holy shit, I'm a victim in a car accident where an 18-wheeler completely obliterated my car. Yes. But you also survived an 18-wheeler obliterating your car. By changing our words around a little bit, we don't have to accept being a victim of anything. Okay? I hope that makes sense, especially with your current situation and what's going on. And I'm sorry that you're going through all of this, because what this speaks about right here, and just the couple little comments I saw that you made, it tells me that this is a really, really intense situation. And I'm sorry that you're going through this, sweetheart. And you know, if I need to spiritually throat punch somebody, you just let me know. You just let me know. Okay? So I'm sorry you're going through that. It's been a battle with the back and forth. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I'm really sorry. Going through anything like that with littles is just not fun. You are so welcome, sweetheart. You are so welcome. All right, Miss Jade, you are next. And hey, you know, you just come here and hang out with all the other Tauruses. There's a lot of them in here. All right, who do I got after Jade?
Are you done, Jade? Kylie?
You want to just make my list?
You want to just give me my notebook, babe?
Yeah.
I can do that for you. You only got a few.
Huh? Okay. Yeah, I'm on Miss Jade now.
Okay.
There's Jade. I looked up just in time to see I'm here. Ooh. Miss Jade, you start off with the caretaker of the lost, which is respite and assistance and memory. Then you have the crown games, which is the right use of power. And then you have repairing the veil, which is forgiveness. All right, here we go. Let's talk about forgiveness. Okay? You're going to hear people say that you have to forgive people, that you're the only one that's holding on to the grudge and it's the only one that is hurting and blah, blah, blah. And they are right. They are correct. Okay? Well, they are correct in the fact that you holding on to a grudge or an emotion or feeling is only hurting you. They are correct in that aspect. Whew. But they are not correct in the fact that you have to forgive somebody. You don't have to do shit. You don't have to do shit. If someone does something horrific to you, you don't have to forgive them. I know that every single one of you guys has heard, you know, well, forgive, but don't forget. If you're not forgetting, isn't that the same thing as not forgiving? If you're still remembering all of the bad things that they did, it means you're keeping score. It means that you have not forgiven them. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you've forgiven somebody, say somebody comes in and they steal, they come to your house and they steal every single thing in your house. And maybe they say they're sorry. And they come back several years later and I've changed, I'm so sorry. And you have completely forgiven that person. Are you going to let them stay in your house unattended? They've changed. You forgave them. I guarantee your answer is going to be no. You don't let them stay in your house. Hell no. If someone came in and stole a whole bunch of stuff or all your stuff, you're not going to let them stay in your house. But you forgave them and they changed. But in the back of your mind, aren't you still thinking, man, this mofo gonna steal everything in my house again? Well, you didn't forgive them, did you? See what I'm saying? You can deal with what they have done. You can deal with the things they have said. You can deal with the hurt. You can deal with the shadow work. You can deal with replacing anything they stole, whatever it is. I don't think people ever truly forgive anyone. Forgiveness is not something that we are taught from a young age. It's not something that is easy to learn and easy to do. So I want you to think about that. Forgive, but don't forget is still keeping score. And here's the thing I'm going to say about this. Some people do not deserve forgiveness. I mean, I'm a pretty kind person and I let a lot of stuff go. But some people don't deserve forgiveness. They don't deserve forgiveness. If it's something purely accidental, actually accidental, okay. But some people know damn well what they're doing. They know damn well what they're doing. Oh, love specialists. I hope that you find everything you're looking for. So let's talk about this one, Jade. This is the right use of power. Forgiveness is a hard one. Let's talk about the right use of power. We all go through times where we feel like we're not powerful. Where we feel like 90 yawns in one thing is unacceptable. We all go through times where we just feel like we are the lowest one on the totem pole, where we feel like we're down here. But here's my tough love for you, Jade. Stop it. Stop it. You are way more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. The people that are always in the position to get picked on and put down and made fun of and all of those things, those are the people that usually hold the most power. I want you to think about that. When a corrupt government knows that their people are powerful enough to take over and take them down, which every single one of them are. Every country could take over their, that just went sideways. Blah, blah. What is one of the first things that they do? If they want the people to not rise up and take over, divide and conquer. They throw things in to cause disarray. They clamp down. They take away your personal power. This is the exact same thing that narcissists do. They take away your personal power, or the appearance of taking away your personal power. So then you feel powerless, but you're not. You are the most powerful person in the situation. You are way more powerful than you give yourself credit for, Jade. Okay? I tried to fling that up like normal and it just didn't. This is the caretaker of the lost card. And we're actually not going to talk about any of these words here at the bottom. We're going to talk about the caretaker of the lost aspect, which you are not. You are not a daycare center for adults who can't take care of themselves. You are not a caretaker for someone who is emotionally 3 years old. You are not a caretaker for people that are broken. And I'm going to say that on purpose because we all know those people that are like, yeah, I just have a lot going on. Like, I know it. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on it. No. Mm-mm. Jade, you have way more power than you ever give yourself credit for. And all of these lost people, and I keep putting that in air quotes because for some reason I feel like you just have all these people that come into your life that pretend to be broken or lost or whatever, and they're not. They know damn well what they're doing. You aren't the caretaker of the lost, sugar. And not everyone needs forgiveness. Okay? That makes sense, Miss Jade? Just saying what I'm saying. You are so welcome, sweetheart. All right. Sass isn't laying on her belly yet, so she's not asleep.
I am on my side, though.
Kylie Peterson, you are next. Kylie, Kim, Laura, and Amber. Woo, okay. Kylie's throwing cards. Aw. Thank you for the unicorn Pegasus. Thank you, Jade, honey. I love that one. That one's really cool. All right. Ready? All right, Miss Kylie. You start off with Hades, which is the Lord of Riches, but it's equality, wisdom, and inevitability. Then you have the Crossing, which is initiation. And then you have the Stranger, which is curiosity. 54 and 53. I don't know how that works out, but okay, because this card has come up a couple of times already this evening. So let's talk about this one right here. This is a curiosity card, the Stranger card. So what needs to change with your curiosity right now? I just want you to think about that. I just want you to literally think about that. What needs to change with your curiosity right now? I'm not going to say much more about it because I feel like that's what you needed to hear with this card. We all have curiosities about one thing or another. We all have curiosities about our path, our life, people around us, etc. But what is it that you need to shift and change about your curiosities right now in this moment? I just want you to think about that for a minute. We're going to talk about this crossing, this initiation. The path, when we're on a path of initiation, that path narrows. It always narrows. That is where the plot line is. You know when you're watching a movie and like you think you can see the plot coming from a mile away and then suddenly whoom, it narrows in and you're like, holy fuck. That's the initiation. That's part of it. That's part of it. Guess where you're at right now? Guess where you're at right now, Kylie? This is partially why this curiosity, you need to see where you need to shift and change your curiosity. Because when we get into this very narrow part on an initiation aspect, the only way out is through. The only way out is to keep moving forward. Okay? This is another reason why when your curiosity shifts, when you know you need to shift it, you're always you're always going to walk through that narrow part with your head held high, knowing that you've kind of got a few aces up your sleeve. I'm just saying. I've been watching to see if you popped up on here, and I have a feeling that you're probably going to be watching this on YouTube later. I would love to know about this curiosity aspect, just because I feel like I just need to say, shift your curiosity. Okay. The main thing I want to talk about, though, is this Hades card. Equality, wisdom, and inevitability. You are going through a humongous major shift right now. A massive major shift right now. Having a card that says just shift your curiosity, that you are going through an initiation and that you're going through a major shift. And then this one right here with inevitability. I just want to remind you of this. Not everyone is meant to go along your path with you. Not everyone is meant to go along your path with you. Not everyone is meant to be on your path at all. Sometimes the only thing you may ever encounter with a certain person is simply the time you meet them. They may never come back into your life. They may never be a part of your life. Sometimes it's simply the fact of meeting that person. And that's it. Okay? You may pine over someone that you met one time. It doesn't mean they're ever going to come back into your life. It also doesn't mean to let that go. Don't hold something unhealthy. But at the same time, you met that person for a reason. They came into your life right then for a reason. Okay? I hope that makes sense, Kylie, honey. Miss Kim Garcia. Wow, okay. I have Kim, Laura, and Amber. So, Laura, I know you were joking that you were last, but you're not. You're second. I had to make the joke. I couldn't help it. All right, Miss Kim. So you start off with the Queen of Shadows, which was wrath, instability, and suspicion. Then you have the Jeweled Web, which is connectivity. And then you have the Lost Compass, which is getting back to integrity. 32 and 35. So we're going to talk about this right here. I actually feel like this card is spot on. This is what needs to change. And I feel like that because this is something that a lot of people I know are going through right now. I knew I was going to yawn again. Sorry. Oh, bitch. I knew I was going to yawn again. Getting back to a previous energy, a previous aspect of ourselves that makes us feel way more powerful, that makes us, not makes us feel more powerful, but brings back, wow, I'm so sorry that that just happened to my hair, that brings back an amazing aspect of us that we lost. It's integrity and it's not at the same time. It's like our spark, that light that we all hold. Sometimes it dims, and it's not for a person or a situation. It just dims because we just have too much shit we're doing. And then we find out, you know, I don't want to do all this shit anymore. I don't want to do all this shit anymore. This shit was fun, air quotes, while it lasted, but I don't want to do it anymore. So now we have to get back to our own integrity. I feel like that's where you are right now, Kim. Take a look back at the energetic times over the last few years where you have felt like the powerful motherfucker that you are. What were you doing? What were you thinking? What were you seeing? What were you being? How were you dressing? How did you look? Do you see what I'm saying? Look at all those things. You'll find your answer there. The next one is this, and it's connectivity. Your connectivity needs to change. It needs to shift. In going back through all of the things that made Kim Kim, that made Kim a powerful, intense, amazing Kim, you made connections. We all make amazing connections when we feel like we're at the top of our power. When we feel like our personal power is on display. Unlike that one piece of my hair right there that keeps pissing me off. But after a while, we need to take a look at our connections and where we're going and why we're going there. Because sometimes the connections that we have are no longer the connections that we need. They have nothing to do with where we're going from now on. Not a fucking thing. Okay? Look at your connections, Kim. What connections are actually doing what they're supposed to do? And I don't mean like who is doing their job or whatever. I mean, what connections that you have, that you're doing, that you have made, what connections are doing the job that you expected them to do? And what ones need to be cut off? You don't have to keep every single fucking connection if they're not for you on your path. In business or in personal things, exactly, okay? The last card you have is the Queen of the Shadows, which is wrath and instability and suspicion. It's okay to get fucking angry when things go sideways. It's okay to get fucking angry when people are douchebags. When some of these people that have made you lose some of this integrity, or have not made you lose it, but have squished it down. When some of these people that are supposed to be helping you with things and they're not, it's okay to be fucking angry. If you don't do your job, somebody's angry at you, right? So why wouldn't you be angry at someone else for not doing their job? Be fucking angry, Kim. You have every right to be fucking angry. Stop sugarcoating it and stop letting people get by with doing less than. Okay? All right, Miss Laura. Here we go. That's funny. You start off with the martyr, which is honesty and shame and restitution. Then we have this fucking card, which is the dust devil and moving out of stagnation. And then I know y'all watched me shuffle, but you have the connectivity card as well. So we're going to talk about the connectivity card, which is something I just talked about, but yours is different. Part of the reason why you feel like you can't connect lately is because you are connecting in a way that no longer works for you. Every time we go through a shift and a change, the way that we connect to the divine, to ourself, etc., changes. It changes. I meant to say changes and shifts, and it came out changes. So that's a new word. You're welcome. Changes. It changes and shifts. It has to. We just shifted. We just changed. Your connectivity isn't going to stay the same. It can't. It's just like upgrading from 1G to 5G on a phone. Do you think that a phone that only can do 1G, if y'all can even think about that back then, if you had an old phone that only worked on 1G and you tried to use it on 5G, you would get no signal. I mean, you might get a signal, but you probably wouldn't. It would be shit. That phone wouldn't work. So if you just upgraded yourself, there's no way that you're going to connect the exact same way that you always used to connect. What are you doing, Oscar? You are not a 10G. You are not a 10G. You are a bracelet breaker, sir. You are not a 10G. I'm never going to let you live that down. I love you. How are you doing? If you guys don't follow Oscar, you totally should. He's a good sport. He broke my bracelet, but he's a good sport. I am fantastic, Oscar, my friend. I hope I get to see you again soon. Oscar is amazing, guys. I just want you to know he might be a little famous friend of mine there. So you should go follow Oscar. He's fantastic. So, yeah. I was going to say he was a cellmate, a table mate across from me at Scared City this last summer. So that was a fantastic show. It was so fun. All right, Miss Laura. You're not going to connect the same because you aren't the same. Okay? Don't expect for everything to be the same after you've grown as much as you've grown. The next thing is this. You have the dust devil, which is moving out of stagnation. Take a break for just a minute. Take a break in the movement. We can take a break in the movement. We can, okay? No matter how fast you're trying to move, no matter, let's just say this, every single car runs out of gas eventually. Even electric cars run out of a charge, and you have to stop and recharge them. So the thing that needs to change the most right now with this card right here, with this dust devil and moving out of stagnation, put some gas in the car. Put some gas in the car. Like, you're not going to go anywhere. Put some gas in the car. Just take a break, okay? Just pull over for a little bit, take a 45-minute power nap, put some gas in the car. You good, all right? The next thing is this, because you have the martyr, and this is honesty, shame, and retribution. And yawn. You're welcome. We're going to look at this retribution card aspect right here. Okay? Karma is a thing. Whether you want to call it karma, whether you want to call it you get what you give, whether you want to call it the threefold law, the tenfold, I don't care. Karma is a thing. Karma works for us and for other people. And I know I see people say all the time, oh, well, I know somebody that's a terrible person and they never get their karma. How do you know? How do you know? You don't get to see them at all the time. No one ever sees someone 100% of the time. And even if you see someone 100% of the time, you don't know what's in their mind. You don't know what's in their mind. You don't experience every single second of their life that they experience, or how would you experience yours? I will also say this. Some people are karma for other people. How many times have you seen somebody that, you know, or maybe you've known somebody that was a cheater? Okay. So let's say my friend Jane dates a guy named Bob, and Bob's a cheater. And Jane, whenever he's leaving and getting all his stuff out of Jane's house, Jane says, you know what? Karma is going to be, you know, karma will get you. Bob says, and goes on about his way. Well, Bob goes on dating a whole bunch of women and continuing to cheat and do whatever. And Bob meets Sue. And Bob falls madly in love with Sue. Like, Sue is gorgeous, everything Bob wants. And Bob falls madly in love with Sue. Well, not only is Sue a cheater, but Sue is a mega cheater. And Sue just runs Bob through the fucking ringer. Sue is just a person. But Sue is Bob's karma, right? Because if you talk to Jane, Jane would say, good, that fucker got exactly what he deserved. He got his karma. Karma came in the form of a lady named Sue. Sometimes people are karma, for good and for bad. Keep that in mind, Miss Laura. Retribution comes in all shapes and sizes. Okay? I'm just saying what I'm saying. But stop and put some gas in the car, girl. Thank you, Smee. I love that name so much. All right, Miss Amber, you are my last one.
I think she is. There was one ticket that was laying out there.
Well,
It was in reserve.
oh, will you make sure it's off?
Make sure that, yeah.
Yeah, make sure it's off, because I don't think I set an end time to it. Yay! Amber waited so patiently. And these are all on YouTube, guys, as well. They will be saved on there, so you guys can go back and listen at any moment. Because with any reading, I like to try to record them for you guys, because you may focus on one aspect of what I said. Like Laura may have just focused on, you know, Bob and Sue and Jane over there and didn't even pay attention to the connectivity. Or maybe that was, you know, there, but words, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. Ready? You have Hades, which is equality, wisdom, and inevitability. Then you have the Winter's Dream, which is a gestation period. And then you have the universe is your partner. So let's talk about the universe is your partner. Both of these cards have the number 3 in them, by the way, 63 and 31. So the universe is your partner. What needs to change with your life right now, especially with this full moon? Let's just say that sometimes things come in weird packages and we think that it's a gift. We think that the universe is doing something to give us exactly what we want. Maybe it's something we've manifested. It's exactly what we wanted. And then as we're going along and we're like, oh, it's exactly what I wanted, we realize it is in no way what we wanted. We realize it is in no way what we wanted. But we needed that to come and be plopped right in our lap for us to realize that that shit sucks. So just know that sometimes the universe sends you shit. The universe will send you a big flaming pile of dog shit on your front porch, but it looks like a balloon bouquet with some cookies. So we bring it inside only to find out it's flaming dog shit. Flaming dog shit. It was wrapped up in a beautiful, elusive package, but it's still flaming dog shit. And then Sass is over there going, flaming dog shit. That might be one of my best analogies ever right there. I'm proud of that one. Okay.
I'll be singing that all day tomorrow. Flaming dog shit.
Oh shit. All right. I've got to make some merch. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Maybe I'll just pull some of these sayings and just make random Bodhi saying shirts. Limited editions. All right. This is the gestation period. This is the winter's dream. Let me say this. Because I don't think that this right here is for you. I think that this is actually for someone else that you're waiting on. Thank you, Josh. Here's the thing. Every person that's supposed to be on our path, that's for our highest good, that's help us in one way or another, they have their own life and their own things and their own path. We just have times where our paths bump, or they come together, whatever, they cross, whatever it is. But they have to have the things on their path that get them to our path. Okay, does that make sense? I love that, Gemini. Gemini said, yes, I quoted you the other day and actually said to quote the Blue Bunny. I love you. That is so funny. So when they have things that they have to do before they can come over here. So right now, it feels like you're in this waiting period, in this gestation period with your manifestations or whatever it is that you're pulling in, okay? I want you to look at it this way. You might be in a holding pattern right now. You might be in a pause. But it may be because that person, that situation, whatever it is, has to be finished first. One of the things that I always braid into my braid when I'm doing intentions is to protect anyone that's in my highest good and on my path. I never know who's supposed to be on my path. I never know who's going to come around the corner. I never know who I'm going to meet tomorrow, the next day, etc. And neither do y'all. But I want to protect any person that is on my path, that is in my highest good, even if it's 30 years down the line. So I want you to think about that. Okay? It's not really something that needs to be changed right now, but it's something that I want you to think about. And it's something I want you to realize that right now, while you feel like you're in this gestation period, you kind of are, because maybe you're just waiting on something else. It's something you're struggling with, so that made a lot of sense. So let's talk about this, because this is equality and inevitability. You do feel like you're kind of stuck? This is equality and inevitability. When it comes to inevitability, it's also wisdom, but when it comes to inevitability, I just want to tell you this, okay? We all know what the word inevitable means. It's going to happen no matter what. Well, within reason. The sun is going to come up tomorrow unless it explodes this evening. The sun is always going to come up. It's always going to go down. The moon is always going to come up. It's always going to go down. But sometimes the only inevitable thing that you need to worry about and concentrate on right now is the air going in and out of your lungs. That's it. Sometimes that's it. Sometimes, at least once a day, that's all you need to concentrate on. That's all you need to concentrate on. Sometimes the inevitable that we need to worry about is simply breathing. It's actually something I have to remind myself of a lot, and I reminded myself of a lot this week, especially standing in some amazingly beautiful places here in Arizona. Sometimes you don't need to rush forward, and sometimes you don't need to try to be someone that you're not. Sometimes you don't need to do anything at all except just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. That's a lot of things. That's a lot of things. Working, kids, school, relationship. That's a lot of things. Just breathe. Just breathe. In fact, I would highly recommend at least once a day. And you can do this in the car while you're driving to work or to school or whatever. You can do this in the shower. You can, whatever, just once a day. Just take those 6 big deep breaths and just concentrate on pushing every bit of old air out of your lungs and taking in brand new air. That's the only inevitable thing that you ever have to worry about. Okay? That makes sense, Miss Amber? Thank you so much for waiting till the very, very end. I appreciate it. You are so welcome. So, Miss Amber was my last read for this evening. I'm going to get off of here and go face plant. I saw somebody post about the 360 video that I took the other day. I cannot explain to you how sucky it is that no camera does the justice to what your eyes actually see. I have a ton of photos and videos to post from this week. And for those of you guys that are subscribers, let me just say this, for both my YouTube and my TikTok subscribers, and those of you guys that subscribe to me on Instagram as well, I have a ton of videos and photos from the last couple of years that I've never released. And I've wanted to release them a few times. It's not because they're anything special or big or whatever, but I feel like it's time. I feel like it's time. So y'all are going to start getting a lot of photo dumps. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Photos, videos, etc. But I have some beautiful, beautiful photos. I also, over the last few years, have been taking a ton of panoramic shots in some very interesting places. And I am going to start sharing those with you guys as well. So let me end YouTube here. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it.